Good morning and welcome to Policy Watch by PolicyTV. I'm Miberon Omoloju. So this morning, I want to paint a picture that I'm sure everyone can relate with. You know, after you graduate, you go for service and pass out. You're supposed to be filled with that excitement about what comes next. At that point, you've done what was expected. You've gone through school, you've completed NYSC, so naturally, you expect that the next phase is stepping into work, building a career and becoming independent. But in Nigeria, for many young people, I might add, that transition is not that smooth at all. Even before graduation, the conversation has already started. You hear it from lecturers, from family members. There are no jobs. So by the time NYSC is over, a lot of young people are not stepping out with confidence. They are stepping out with uncertainty already in place. Where do I start from? How long will it take before I get something? Do I even stand the chance without connections? And once the job search begins, the reality sets in. Applications go out repeatedly with little or no response. Entry-level roles often demand 2 to 5 years of experience. Some opportunities that do come require skills that were never taught in schools. Others offer salaries that are not enough to match basic living costs. And that is why many young people shift quickly into alternatives like internships or unpaid roles just to gain experience. Small businesses, switching careers into fields like tech, logistics, and so on, or even consider migration as a more stable option. Official figures often place Nigeria's youth unemployment rate about 5 to 6%, but that number does not capture the full reality of the labor market. Many young people fall into what economists describe as underemployment, where they are working, but not in stable, well-paying or skill-utilizing jobs. In fact, a large portion of Nigeria's workforce operates in the informal sector, estimated at over 80% of total employment. Now, while this sector absorbs people, it does not provide the stability needed for long-term economic mobility. At the same time, Nigeria continues to produce a large number of graduates every year. Estimates from the labor force show that hundreds of thousands of young people enter the job market annually, especially after NYSC completion. But the formal economy is not expanding fast enough to absorb them into structured employment at the same rate. Now, this mismatch between labor supply and job creation is what creates pressure, not just unemployment, but a backlog of skilled young people trying to enter a system that cannot fully absorb them. Now, if we compare this with more structured labor markets, the difference is not only in economic strength, but in transition systems. In countries like Germany, for example, the education system is tightly linked with industry through what is known as the dual vocational training model. Students are already attached to companies before graduation, meaning they finish school with both qualification and practical experience. In Canada, the transition is supported through structured employment services, internships, and graduate placement programs. In some cases, temporary financial support system exists to reduce pressure while young people search for work. The key difference is not that these countries eliminate unemployment completely, but that they manage the transition from education to employment in a structured way. There's a system that reduces uncertainty and prevents graduates from falling immediately into long-term joblessness. In Nigeria, that transition is still largely informal. Once NYSC ends, there is no consistent national pipeline that connects graduates directly into structured employment opportunities. So, the most realistic starting point is not trying to fix everything at once, no, but fixing the weakest and most critical link in the chain. And one practical first step is to restructure NYSC into a structured national job transition and placement system. NYSC already exists as a nationwide platform that reaches graduates across all states. That makes it a strong foundation to build on without creating a new institution from the scratch. The reform would focus on one clear shift, moving NYSC from a mere service completion program to a workforce integration system. Now, this would involve, number one, a proper skills profiling system at mobilization, where core members are categorized based on qualifications, technical skills, and career interests. Number two, formal partnerships with private sector companies, public institutions, and SMEs to create structured placement slots during service year. Thirdly, assigning core members to roles that reflect actual job functions, not just administrative or unrelated postings. Fourthly, making NYSC experience function as real work experience that employers can recognize after service. And finally, creating a post-service linkage system where high-performing core members are automatically connected to job opportunities or retention pathways within host organizations. Now, this is important because it directly addresses the most vulnerable point in the entire system, which is the transition between graduation and employment. So instead of young people entering the job market completely on their own after NYSC, they live with documented work experience, industry exposure, professional references, and in some cases, direct employment pathways. Now, this does not eliminate unemployment, but it reduces the shock of entry into the labor market and improves employability significantly. Now, most importantly, it builds a bridge where there is a current gap. And in Nigeria's current reality, that kind of structured transition is one of the most practical and scalable starting. Thank you all for tuning in. I'm Miberon Omoloju, and this has been Policy Watch by PolicyTV. Goodbye.